Hey, welcome to Little Vintage World. This video I have got some classic crime book reviews to share with you. I've actually got 4 books, so let's get straight into it. Now the first book I am completely cheating because this is not a classic crime book, but it is a crime book, but I don't know where else to kind of wrap it up, so I'm shoving it in here. So this is Hidden Depths by Cleeves, which is part of the Vera book series. I do enjoy watching the Vera book series on TV, and I have read one of the Vera books before and saw this in a charity shop and thought I would give it a go. This is about a woman who comes home after a night out. She's been drinking and she finds her son dead in a bath covered in flowers, and in comes Vera to investigate, and we find out that this isn't like the only death that's happened this way. Now, as I said, I've read one of the Vera books before and I actually really liked that, but I do feel like these books in general are too much for me. They're too gory for me. They make me feel quite uncomfortable. I do feel like these are very easy books to read though, and I like the element of the light and the shade, the darkness of what's going on with the kind of almost comedic effect. Like there's a quote in here that I've written down where Vera says, "I'm a detective, not a relationship counsellor." And I did really like that, and I do think these books are good, but I just don't think they're me sort of books. They're too dark for me and a bit too gory, and yeah, I think I'm going to say goodbye to the Cleeves books and not bother with them in the future. There's so many other books out there that I'd like to get to. It doesn't take away from the series. I do love watching the series, but I think because I've got such a vivid imagination, it's just so prevalent in my head. Yeah, makes me skin crawl a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna give those a miss, but if you kind of don't mind the gore, actually you'd probably quite enjoy that. The next book that I want to share with you is The Nine Tailors. Woo, everything's going everywhere. By Dorothy L. Sayers. This book is a Folio Society edition, hence why it looks like this, and this is the cover. So this book is set on New Year's Eve, and Lord Peter and Bunter have a little kind of car accident because of weather conditions, and so they end up seeing like a little towny village thing, and they end up going over there and staying with the rector. Lord Peter ends up getting involved in a bit of bell ringing, and once their car fixed, they make their way home, but on their way home they come across someone who's asking directions to said village, and so they give them directions. Time passes. Lord Peter then receives a letter from the rector where they stayed with saying, "Oh, I know what you can do. I want you to help us." There was a funeral about to take place, and so they went to dig up said grave where the coffin was going into to share with spouse. So there should be a bottom coffin and then just clear earth ready for the next one. And there was bottom coffin and then a body on top, fully clothed, no idea who that said person was. So Lord Peter finds out, who is this person, why have they been killed, who's done it, etc, etc. And off we go. Now, this book was sadly not for me. I don't feel like this is her best work. I feel like there's not enough Lord Peter in this book at all. I love Lord Peter and I love Bunter and I love seeing them together, and there wasn't enough of that in there for me. Sad to say. I also didn't really get the bell ringing terminology. There's a lot of bell ringing stuff in this, and it just went whoosh right over my head because I haven't got a clue. Although I have heard people have said they've read it, felt the same as me, but then they've come back to it years later, reread it, excuse me, and actually they really liked it and appreciated all the detail that Sayers put into it and all the effort that she put into it about the bell ringing, etc. So who knows when I come back in the future, but whenever I read a kind of a meh one by Sayers, it just makes me want to read one of her good ones like Strong Poison or Gaudy Night, because I know how good she can be. So not the best, but let me know if you've read that one and what you think of it. The next one I read is Duplicate Death by Georgette. I still have no idea how you pronounce it. Surname. So many people say so many different things. Anyway, This is one of her later crime novels from 1951 and is about a bridge party that takes place, and then one of the players from the bridge party has a phone call. He is expecting a phone call. He goes to the boudoir to take it, but then he never comes back. Someone goes to find him and find that he has been strangled, and in we go to investigate. I like I like her. I like her writing, I like her plot, I like her characters, but I don't love her. I think she's an easy to read, kind of get lost in, turn your brain off, but I don't think she's as good as Christie, Sayers, Wentworth, etc. I am going to keep going with her books because there's only 12 and I do own a few more by her that I haven't read yet, but being honest, I actually really like her writing when she's talking about the mundane everyday things. It kind of makes me feel like I want to try some of her other stuff because she's written quite a lot of like Regency romance sort of things. And if you have read one of hers that isn't a crime one, could you let me know which is the best place to go to? Because I'd be quite intrigued to read one of her books that isn't a crime book and see how I get on with it, because as I said, I like them, but I don't love them. I think they're good, but I don't think they're, you know, knock your socks off amazing. So would like to try something else by her because she's got lovely writing. What a weird compliment. Anyway, the next book and the last book that I have to share with you is Vanishing Point by Patricia Wentworth. Oh, I love Patricia Wentworth. I love Miss Silver. So this book is about a woman called Maggie Bell. Maggie Bell went missing a while ago, and people say she went to London and she sent a couple of postcards back, but other people said, no, that's not her handwriting, that's not how you spell this and that and the other. And no one can seem to track her down. No one knows where she is. No one's heard from her. And the police have hit a dead end. So they ask Miss Silver, of course they do, they asked Miss Silver to go to said village and see if she can poke her nose in and find out what happened to her. But while she gets there, another woman goes missing in exactly the same circumstances as Maggie Bell. So what on earth has gone on? I really enjoy this one. This is a great Patricia Wentworth book. Not amazing, it's not like knock my socks off, but it is really strong. Really, really good. Brilliant writing as always. I love the amount of Miss Silver that we get in this. She's in it so often. I mean, she's not in it from page one. That's always the best when she's in it from page one. She isn't. But all the characters in here are quite strong that it doesn't matter that she's not in it page one sort of thing. But I love that we get to see how Miss Silver works, and then when we get to the end and there's like action happening, she gets involved with the action too, and I like that. Great plot, lots of great characters, lots of great twists and turns, just generally a really strong Miss Silver book. And I can't waffle on about Miss Silver anymore. I mean, I could, but I won't, because I spoke about her so much, and if you're not going to read her now, when are you going to read her? Anyway, so that is it. That is my classic crime plus one not classic book reviews. Hopefully one of these books has taken your fancy. Chat to me all things crime in the comment section down below, and I shall see you soon for the next video. Take care for now. Bye.